everyone. I'm Gloria S. Crump, the Queen of Real Estate with Coastal Leaders Realty Group. Thank you for joining us this week's Tea Crumpets. Today we have Peter Schmitz with ELEV8 Aviation. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this because I've obviously been interested in this type of learning how to fly myself. So tell us a little bit about ELEV8 Aviation, where you're located.
Okay, yeah, so ELEV8 Aviation's a new flight school over at the Gulf Shores International Airport. Kind of by the new terminal, so if you went to that grand opening, you drove right by
We saw
our flight school there.
Yes.
We specialize in Cirrus aircraft. We're a Cirrus training center, so that means we've been authorized by Cirrus to provide training in their aircraft. I've gone to the manufacturer, I've received specialized training in the airplanes.
That's awesome.
And then all of my flight instructors received then even more training from me about to be just masters of the aircraft.
That's awesome. And so tell us about like how long you've been flying and how long the company's been when you formed the company.
Absolutely, yeah. So I started flying in 2020 amid COVID. Yeah. I actually dropped out of college, my last semester of college, to do this whole pilot thing.
Yeah.
And I've been instructing full time since 2023.
That's awesome. And so it's funny you said you did it with COVID because you didn't have to worry about being around anybody. It was a good time to learn. So, and then it's been here in Gulf Shores, you said, since February?
Yes, ma'am. We opened in February. Grand opening was in April.
That's awesome. Well, that's neat. So what made you want to start this company?
A couple things. Like I said, I initially dropped out of college to do this. After I became a flight instructor, I started going online again to the University of North Dakota. Aviation studies was my major, I guess.
Yeah.
I was in this class about business aviation, kind of different businesses you can have in aviation. And one of my classes, we had to do this project about create an aviation business and what would it be, and actually plan the dang thing.
Yeah.
And so I did that and then emailed my professor. I was like, hey, I might actually want to do this. What do you think?
That's awesome. I think that's really neat that there was like a project that y'all had to do and then look at what happened from it. So, and so what types of services do you offer with ELEV8?
So our bread and butter is flight training, specifically in the Cirrus aircraft. We do everything from primary private pilot training, instrument rating, commercial, flight instructor, additional endorsements and whatnot, as well as if you for example were to buy a Cirrus today, Cirrus pays for you to come to me for some flight training to learn how to fly the airplane.
Wow, that's awesome. So they actually take good pride in their planes to make sure that they don't want to have any negative reviews out there.
Exactly.
That's really what it boils down to.
They're super their big emphasis is safety.
Yes, for sure. And so now when you were talking about how you start, I mean, it's literally from the ground up from when it comes to learning how to fly. And how much, well, first of all, let's go back to the other service. You also offer discovery.
Yes, ma'am.
Flights. And that would be like, for instance, if I said, hey, I think I want to possibly learn how to fly. Can you take me out there and tell us a little bit about that, because I think this is really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So a discovery flight is just that you discover aviation, you discover flying, see if it's something you like.
Yeah.
You'll spend about an hour and a half with the flight instructor. They'll give you a little bit of a safety briefing about the airplane, and then you'll go fly, spend about 30-45 minutes, and depending on your comfort level, we'll let you do everything from takeoff to back to the landing. Of course, the flight instructor is going to be there with you, guarding the controls, making sure you don't do anything funky.
It's not like a student driver.
Exactly.
But you're a student flyer.
Exactly.
So, like, for instance, if we decide to do a follow-up, I can literally go, hey, Peter, I want to do a discovery, flight, see if I really want to pursue this further. And I mean, from the get-go, if I wanted to, I could just try to take off.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. And what we do is we take off. Usually what we do is we take a little flight along the coast. It's a gorgeous view of the shoreline, flying up and down it. And I cannot speak enough about how amazing that experience is.
And now one thing is, too, I know like there's certain things, like if you were to go out over the water, you have to have a instrument license. Is that correct?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
You just need to stay within a single engine aircraft. You need to stay within gliding distance of the coast.
I gotcha.
Or we're a life preserver or something like that.
And
we'll always stay within gliding distance of the shoreline.
Okay. I might be doing this. This sounds exciting. And so now let's say I say, okay, I've decided I want to pursue this further. What is the cost to start up with, in the process to get your actual pilot's license?
Yeah, absolutely. So at ELEV8, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than your typical flight school.
Mm-hmm.
All in, including ground school, flight lessons, exams, examiner fees, headsets, iPads, all the things you might need. You're looking at about $35,000 for a private pilot's license.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, you said it's the elite one.
Yeah, so ELEV8's whole thing is we're the country club of flying, if you will.
Well, that sounds like my
We operate only modern Cirrus aircraft.
Yeah.
The oldest airplane in my fleet is a 2021.
Oh, wow.
Versus the typical flight school flying airplanes from 1970.
It is. I dated a guy that I can vouch for
yeah,
that.
So I mean, nothing against those other aircraft. They have a typically a really good maintenance record. That's why they're still flying.
Yeah.
But you just don't get some of the features and the comforts of flying in a 2021 Cirrus, such as a modern avionics display, autopilot, AC, which having flown in the other airplane.
I did. There was no air conditioning in this plane. I think that's why I got sick. I did
Probably.
get sick.
So if you had AC, it changes everything. And so it's those little nicer things about the aircraft that really sets us apart from the other flight schools.
And those are the planes that you have in your fleet that people learn on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so and there's also a flying club, y'all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So to rent in our flying club, or to be a renter, to take the aircraft solo, you got to be a member of the flying club. And the whole idea behind this is lots of places you'll go get your pilot's license, and then there's that. The flight school won't let you rent and take the airplane to Nashville if you want it for the weekend, or if you wanted to go to New Orleans for the weekend or something like that. And so I want to offer that opportunity because so many people get the pilot's license and then they never fly again. It's so expensive to just buy an airplane.
It is, and the annuals are expensive.
Exactly, and so trying to lower the bar for entry for people to actually enjoy this thing they just spent so much time and money on earning. But anyway, so you got to be a member of our flight club, and I'll let you take it for the weekend to go somewhere.
Well, that's nice because those are the planes they learned on.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly.
And so that makes it a huge difference. It's just like, for instance, I mean, they don't have to try to figure out a whole nother plane, take any more classes to try to figure out how to work certain mechanicals on there and instruments. So, and then you have how many? You're actually actively growing your fleet right now.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so we have two 2021 SR20 G6s. We have a brand new SR20 G7 being delivered in November. Okay. And the really cool thing about that, so our airplanes, again, Cirrus's whole thing is safety.
Okay.
All the aircraft come with a parachute built into the frame. So should something happen to the engine or to your pilot, the passengers can pop the parachute. 100% guarantee you're going to survive if you deploy the parachute within. And the whole
aircraft is got the parachute.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't have to jump out.
No.
Oh, that's
the whole aircraft. But anyways, this new G7 that they're launching, if something happens to your pilot, it comes with an auto land feature. So you press this button, and the airplane will land itself for you in an emergency situation. So you have that auto land feature and the parachute. It is such a safe aircraft to fly.
I think you could go up on your prices. I'm just I mean, we're putting a price tag on people's lives right now. So
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's really neat. We're gonna have some pictures so that we can show in the video. That sounds. We're definitely gonna be doing another video. I'm excited about this, and so. But you also offer. Do you offer commercial?
No, it's like charter flights.
Charter flights.
No, man, we don't offer that.
No charter flights. But as far as licenses, like it's a private plane, and then there was some other instrument license. Y'all do that.
Yes.
And then, are there any other classes that y'all offer?
Yeah, we can do basically anything besides multi-engine training. We don't have a multi-engine. So if you want to become a commercial pilot, I can teach you everything you need to know to become a commercial pilot. Okay. Along with becoming a flight instructor and those kind of things. Oh,
neat. So you have a wide variety of services that y'all offer, and so what sets you apart? You make your company different from other flight schools. I mean, we kind of touched on that because y'all do offer like the elite planes. I mean, that's really. And then they have you as an instructor.
Of course, me.
Yeah, you're obviously brave if you let people go up there and take over. But like you said, you're able to have your controls as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So I can just kind of touch on again what separates us. One, our aircraft, all 2021 aircraft, they're still under warranty, spare to tail. So our maintenance program, no dollar is spared on maintenance because they're all under warranty. There's no reason for me to pinch pennies on that.
That's nice.
The safety of it, the parachute, the auto land feature, and the new airplane coming in November. And then like I talked about earlier is I went to the manufacturer and I received specific training on the airplane. And then all of my instructors also received very specialized training. Typically, when you work for flight school, you go through 1 or 2 checkout flights, boom, go have fun. go teach. I mean, my instructor, I just checked one out. We spent a whole week together doing ground lessons, flight lessons. I spent about 15 hours with him in the airplane, teaching him everything he needs to know to fly the aircraft. So I'm not saying he's any better than any other flight instructors, but we gave him specific training on the aircraft versus just go forth.
Yes. Well, no, that sounds amazing. And so I'm really looking forward to doing another video soon, Katie.
In the airplane, maybe?
I know, maybe she might be taking a picture. We might be doing a dash cam. I don't know if she's going to really want to do that, but this is going to be very fun. And so also you're going to be offering a discount for people who mentioned that they saw you on this video.
Yep. So typically Discovery flights are $299. Anybody who mentions this video and comes and does a Discovery flight with us, we'll do it for $199 for them.
That's awesome.
Same experience, just a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm really think it's going to be a neat experience. I've always wanted to potentially get my pilot's license. My grandfather had his pilot's license, and he had at one point in time was the longest one in the state of Alabama that I was telling him. And I dated a guy that got his pilot's license, and I told a story about how when we landed for the first time on a tarmac, he said, "You can steer it." Well, I didn't realize you steer with the pedals. So I'm over here trying to steer with the handles and thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to crash on the tarmac, and he's dying out laughing. So, I learned a little bit just by being in those planes and things of that nature. So it's always been really, intriguing to me.
Absolutely.
So I've always enjoyed it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's like to actually fly the plane.
There's no better place than Elevate.
I know. I love that. And I love the name. That's a great name.
Thank you.
So, well, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm looking forward to doing another video with you, and thank you for watching.